Don't ride here. Ride here. Explore new horizons with Moto Freight. Proud sponsors of Under the Visor. For a change on this month's Under the Visor, I will be doing some interviewing with these wonderful gentlemen, and we're going to be talking about the Trans-European Trail. But before we get into any of that detail, you just introduce yourselves, please.
Yeah,
John?
I'm John Ross. I live up in Swindon in North Yorkshire, and for my sins I am the coordinator, some might say puppet master, of the Trans-Euro Trail.
Okay, we'll explore in a bit more detail what that means in a second.
Yes, I'm Brian Eland. I live in Newcastle, and I'm what's called the UK linesman, or generally known as the person who is the puppet who gets worked by John, and you organise the UK route.
Okay, right. Well, we'll come back in a minute to those two roles and what that means. But can you just tell me and explain for all the viewers what the Trans-European Trail is and kind of where it's come from?
The Trans-Euro Trail, I think we're all aware of the long distance footpath, the Pennine Way, the GRs in France. We're also aware of the Trans-Am Trail across the States and the Trans-Canada Gravel Adventure. And we thought there was an opportunity to introduce to do the same in Europe, to create a route running off bitumen, off pavement as much as possible, but legal, from the very top of Europe, the North Cape of Norway, down to Tarifa on the Straits of Gibraltar. It comprises 34,000 kilometres and growing of route. It's been GPX recorded, is available for free download, and is really aimed at the average rider riding the average light middleweight trail bike with lightweight luggage. It's basically backpacking for bikers.
And this has been quite a while sort of in the making, and it's very much a community-based project. It's not like you've employed people to go and ride these trails and then come back to you. It's been about the community of riders coming together to create it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been in the fortunate position of doing various rides around Europe, and we've always thought, what's just over the horizon? What could I explore over there? And then we've made contact with each other across with Brian here, and across the different countries of Europe, and stitched together a community created long distance path. Yeah.
So, Brian, explain what the linesman.
The linesman is he's the overall charge, the person who holds the map for the country that they're in charge of, and they collate all the information from all the people putting the information in, and they decipher that information, make it to the correct format, and keep the route as up to date as possible, legal, manageable, and sustainable for the entire route, for the right size bikes. And it seems to be working. Most of the linesmen are getting on very well.
And I think it's one of the great strengths of the project is that we've got passionate local experts, the linesmen, who are passionate about their countries, passionate about the trails, but also absolutely focused on the sustainability, as you mentioned, of the trails, making sure that the environment is respected, the well-being of the trails, and the local communities are respected. Trail riding is a pastime which attracts criticism from various points, and has its detractors. If we can prove and show that there is a large community, or our community of trail riders are responsible individuals that are contributors to remote rural communities in the form of cash, and care for the regions they move through, then I think we're onto a winner there. And that's what the linesmen are just absolutely passionate and focused on.
So when you put the route together,
yeah,
I'm assuming you don't, as the UK linesman, you don't know every single trail that you could possibly ride in England and Wales. Or do you take input from other people?
I take input from other people who are more localised. They're local experts, and I just put all that information together to create the whole route. I'm in a lucky situation. I've trail ridden for 35 years around the UK and ridden most areas. So yes, there is some experience behind it in other areas, but I can't personally know the south coast of England to like the back of my hand. So I use people who are local to give you that advice. And basically I bring that information together. We use the TERF as a helping hand, and we work in unison with the TERF. And it works pretty well. It's still an evolving concept, the whole thing's still evolving, because it's such a new and experimental thing. The whole thing's it's brand new to a lot of people, and it's very out there. It's very strange for people. So we're trying to evolve it into the right format that it should be. We're pretty close to it.
So in terms of, come back to your point you made, John, about it, promoting it in the right way and the right way of riding. So I'm a member of the TRF, so they have their code of conduct, I've got that terminology correct, but yeah, when you join, you read it and you understand about respect for the people on the trails, stop for horses, stop for pedestrians or cyclists or whatever, let them go past, making sure they close gates. I mean, all that kind of good stuff. You're promoting the TET in the same way.
Absolutely.
We have exactly the same. And in fact, our terms are probably even more in depth than what the TRF ones are. We make sure that people do stop for other road users or other users of tracks and that, because you've got to be presentable. You've got to, trail riding has to be sustainable for the next generation. Yeah. We don't want to be the last people to ever go trail riding in the UK or Europe.
Well, what would be your advice if you're trail riding, not necessarily for TET, but any kind of trail riding, if you come across a situation where somebody doesn't like you riding where you're riding, either because it's passing through their land legally, of course, but they don't like you being there, they don't like you touching their gates or going near their livestock, what would be, having been in that situation myself, I'm interested in your advice in that situation?
I think there's often a great temptation at the moment, the time it happens, to react emotionally, and that just leads to an escalation in the emotions and in the stress.
Take your helmets off, normally the first thing. Take your helmet off and speak to the people.
Show your face.
And,
smile.
Yeah, that works wonders. And to be honest, if they're not going to be appeased because you've taken your helmet off and you prefer to speak to them, turn around and go back. There's other ways around. You know, the TET, it isn't a competition to see who can do the exact route. It's an adventure. You should get lost on it. You should be able to. There should be trails that you can't do. There should be trails that you find very easy. It's an adventure, and people have to realise that they've got to use their own common sense when they're out there, and realise that if it's getting beyond their ability, they've got to turn around and go back again. They've got to work their own fuel stops out. They have to work out their own maintenance on their bikes. And people turn around and say, "No, I can ride 500 miles a day on the bike." So how many miles will I get on the trails done? You'll not get 500 miles done. You just won't.
Don't ride here. Ride here. Explore new horizons with Moto Freight. Proud sponsors of Under the Visor.